that I couldn't get myself to get into gear. But I bought a cross trainer like a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Which is sitting prominently in my living room.
Yeah.
And I'll be very honest, aside from a week ago when I got blisters on my foot because I went for a too long walk in improper shoes, I've been on it every day, at the very least for 20 minutes, on average more than 30, 45.
Wow.
I've been pushing myself. It's
So
been
you results?
Physically, I haven't noticed anything yet, but according to the scale, I've been slowly dropping.
No, if the data is there, who are you to argue?
Which I'm obviously helping along by chatting to strangers on the internet, drinking beers.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, I'm trying to drop a few myself, because I noticed the other day with a start that I've got a gut. Suddenly, like, there's been periods in my life where I've been kind of flabby, but I've always had sort of the same body shape. And it's like, fuck it, just put a t-shirt on, no one will know. When that comes off, it's all there. But I mean, t-shirt on, no one will know. And then I saw myself sideways on in a mirror the other day, and it was like straight all the way down to a point, and it was like, and then straight again. I was like, shit, man, when did that happen? But rather than do anything drastic like exercise, I'm just trying to like. I'm trying because I have such a sweet tooth. Like I do, like I eat chocolate and sweets like all the time, and like my entire life I've been able to just do it, and it's never really affected me. But like, oh shit, it's catching up now. So I'm trying to cut that shit out and like drink a bit less. He says as he opens another can, like, you know, a special dispensation for this. But no, like I've got to try and cut down on the booze and stuff, and like I'll give it like a week or two, and then if that hasn't been enough, then I will have to look at like I used to go and do like wrestling and jiu-jitsu and shit, and my mate's been trying to get me back into that literally for about 3 years. I'll go back to that, like I'll take up swimming or something. But like, because I'm not like, you know, I'm not like ballooning up or anything. It's just that I noticed I was like, oh no, I've kind of a paunch shit. So yeah, if I cut out the rubbish for a couple of weeks, see how that goes. Like today, so at work at the office, get this. Every couple of weeks, there's a pick and mix man that comes in and just sells pick and mix.
Yeah.
And like all the American sweets and shit. And today's payday, and the pick and mix man was in. And I was like, oh man, look at all those chocolate bars. Oh yeah, I could spend like a $5 on them. And I just sat and ate a bowl of mushroom soup. And sat and stared at them and was like, ugh. I fucking wish I could eat some of those now. But I'm just trying to be strong and try to, like, you know, cut down on the extravagances. See if that is enough. If it's not, then we'll have to go to DEFCON 2.
I'm glad I never really was that much into sweets, because I think it would be even more difficult if it was that as well.
I'm a fiend. I'm so bad for it. So bad for it. And the missus doesn't help neither, because she's always like, no, you're not fine. It's fine. Look, I bought you these pastries that were on offer. Like, fuck's sake. I'm here, like...
She just wants you to let yourself go so she can let herself go.
No, I think it's that she's worried that, like she's like, oh, well, if he gets all fat, nobody will try and steal him. I can have him all to myself.
You actually think she might be considering somebody might steal you.
I'm a catch, what can I say?
You big stud muffin, you.
Pretty soon, gonna have this fucking podcast money rolling in.
Oh my god, I don't know where to go from this.
Can we take a piss break?
I do need a piss, and I do need to get some beer.
So do I. Hello.
Hello.
I assumed you'd be back before me. Excuse me.
Who, me? No. I'm all in your mind.
You sounded like Adrian Edmondson there.
I love Adrian Edmondson.
So do I. Did you see Adrian Edmondson's amazing tweet the other day?
No, because I don't follow him on Twitter.
Oh, neither do I, actually, but it got retweeted on my timeline. You're familiar with the young ones, yeah?
Oh, am I familiar with the young ones?
So, all he tweeted was just a picture of a train window, right? And he just said, even after all these years, it's still tempting.
That's the episode Bambi.
The best episode.
It is quite possibly the best episode.
Best episode. I think it's the best episode. When I was a young boy and I made about 7 or 8, I was convinced that was the funniest thing I'd ever seen, where he gets his head cut off.
It's hilarious. It's like, I was watching that at an age I shouldn't have been watching that.
Well, as I say, I was 7 or 8.
And this was like one of my first contacts with British culture on TV. And the other one was Blackadder the Second. And my God, it's either warped me or, made me into that mold for the rest of my life. Because that's what I was. I was like weird humour, great one-liners. And then I first moved to England and I got like this great deal on these DVDs for Bottom live stage shows. And then I watched all of those. So ever since then, I'm basically Rik Mayall, Adrian Edmondson, and it's all so good. Yeah, no, that was very much my childhood. When I was about 9, I had a mouse or a hamster called Vivian. That's how big, like when I was like a young boy. That's how into like the young ones that I was. I just thought it was the best. Because I think it's because my older brothers were into it. Because my siblings are a lot older than I am. Like the nearest age sibling to me is 12 years older than me. Wow.
So they're a lot older. So like when I was like 8, 9, they were all in their 20s. So they were like huge fans of all sort of the young ones and that. And then I just got it from them, I think. But my parents were into it as well, though. So like we had Blackadder the Second on VHS.
Don't drink the Coke in the fridge. Why not? Because it's actually a serum to turn yourself into a homicidal axe maniac. Why would you make that? Well, it's a cure. What's it a cure for? Well, it's a cure for not being a homicidal axe maniac.
Oh, so stupid.
A cure for not being a homicidal axe maniac.
You have to admire Rik Mayall and Adrian Edmondson, who carved out a 40-year career out of playing the same 2 characters, just in different guises.
They said that on one of the live shows where Rick, as Richie from Bottom, regresses into Rick from Young Ones.
I must have seen it. I think that's
So he goes all political about Margaret Thatcher, and then Ade Edmondson, he pretends as if he still has hair and makes his full hawk, and he does the same screechy voice, and Rick immediately goes to him like, well, you haven't changed much over the years, have you? Rik Mayall's passing is probably the first time ever that a celebrity passed away that it hurt me. Like, I'm normally like quite skeptical when you're like, oh, this celebrity died and he was everything to me. I'm like, well, how could you think that? And then Rik Mayall died. And I'm like, at the age of 52, I think. I was still quite young. And then that was like 2015 or 16.
Might have been earlier than that even,
And that's the first time it hit me personally. I'm like, well, that's shit. I fucking love that guy. Like, I based so much of my sense of humour on what he thought was funny and whatnot.
Yeah, no, that was a very sad one. See, as a wrestling fan, you do get these. Remember your childhood hero? He's dead. He was 40, and you're 12. Like, you do get that a lot. So I've had quite a few over the years where it was like, oh wait, shit, this has destroyed me. Like, even when I was like fucking, I must have been I'd have been 9 years old when Owen Hart died live on pay-per-view. So that affected me deeply. So I've had quite a few of those, but no, the Rik Mayall one got me as well. Like celebrities outside of wrestling, I think his was probably the first as well. Actually, the first one outside of wrestling where I felt like genuinely sad, like saddened, like like affected my mood.
Yeah. I don't want to say I was like bawling tears, but it definitely like.
Yeah,
it still pretty much bums me out thinking about it nowadays.
Yeah, me too. There was him, like... Bowie was one for me as well, actually. Bowie.
Oh, Bowie, David Bowie, yeah.
Yeah, he was one for me as well, which was weird, because I only just got big into Bowie, like, in the last 6 months or so of his life. Everything post Phantom Pain was like...
I really loved his last album. I was actually quite actively listening to that.
Yeah, Black Star was fucking awesome.
I was listening to that, and then suddenly it's like, well, he's dead now. I'm like, oh.
But no, like, even now, like, when we... like, me and the missus watch, like, all the old Top of the Pops on BBC 4 and stuff. And, like, when he pops it on there, it's like, oh... It's still there. It's still like, oh, shit, he's gone. And I think it's because he was so, like...
Bigger than life.
Yeah, he was ethereal, wasn't he? Do you know what I mean? It's almost this, like, well, if it can take him, fuck. It can take anybody. Like,
I had the same thing with Johnny Cash. It's like, I started buying a lot of CDs when I lived in England because I never had a real music collection before. So I bought a lot of those, and then he did Hurt, which was the 9 Inch Nails cover.
Yeah.
And his wife had just recently died at that point.
Yeah.
And then Walk the Line came out, and then very soon after he actually died. And I was like, wow, I've only just gotten into him, and now I'm like, now he's gone. That's so weird.
Yeah, that is exactly the same sort of thing I had with Bowie. It was like, because obviously you've always been aware of them because they're such icons.
Yeah.
And you always, you like one or two of the tunes. Like, you must have liked sort of Ring of Fire and maybe one or two others that you'd heard over the years, but you were never like, oh, I'm not really a fan, but he's okay. And then it was just as you were like, oh, actually, this is my guy. It's like, well, he's fucking gone now. But kind of, like, when, I don't know if you had this with Johnny Cash, but like, I had it with Bowie, like, I almost felt grateful in a way. Because I had so many friends who were like, only after the fact were like, oh, God, he was dead good, wasn't he? And it was like, I felt like, but I just got on board just as, like, I felt like I appreciated him while he was around. Do you know what I mean?
I don't want to be, like, all hipster, but it does sound like a little bit, well, I liked him before he died.
No, I don't mean that. I just mean, like, I felt like, I got to appreciate it, like, before it was too late, almost. Do you know what I
do
mean?
feel like it's because there's already so much content out there, not just music, but just everything. Our time is very finite, so getting really into something is really hard without it immediately being...
Is it like, before like 1950, there was nothing. There was fuck all, and now there's like all the millions of hours of content in the world ever.
Exactly.
What did they do before, like, the war? Is that why they had so many wars? Is that why there's never been a war since the Second World War? Because they had like music and TV and
There's
shit.
never been a war since the Second World War.
And before that, they were just sat up. But yeah, no, but it's always been like a bigger country kicking the shit out of a small country, hasn't it? Or trying to and failing miserably.
Let's play Victorian parlour games. Have you ever heard about
Exactly.
good pussy? No. It's when one person acts like a cat and the other person has to go like, good pussy, good pussy.
Yeah. No wonder.
No, this is actually a real thing. You can Google this.
No,
Victorian parlour game.
I'm not going to Google good pussy.
Honestly...
Not until after the podcast's finished anyway. Am I right, listeners?
Hi-yo. I promise you that is a parlour game. It's like... I was going to say something, but it's like Duck, Duck, Goose.
Okay.
So it's a game like that, except grown-up people played it, apparently.
Okay, alright.
What was I going to say?
I don't know. What were you going to say?
Ducktales.
Ducktales? Woohoo!
Oh, yes.
The movie? You've been re-watching Ducktales?
No, have you been watching Ducktales?
Is there a new Ducktales out?
There is a new Ducktales.
Fucking no, I haven't been watching Ducktales. The film was on a couple of days ago. I almost watched that, but then I didn't.
You're subscribed to our channel. Why are you not watching Ducktales for?
I never go on YouTube.
What?
I'm subscribed to like 1 million channels. Why? Like,
I thought you watched the content we put out.
I watched some of the content that we put up.
And that's good enough for me. Anyway, DuckTales has got a reimagining with David Tennant as Uncle Scrooge.
Oh, shut the front door. What?
David Tennant is Uncle Scrooge.
Why are you only telling me this now?
Because I thought you would pick up on everything I've ever retweeted about
Who's-
Ducktales.
Who's Launchpad?
I don't know, but he's brilliant. I will immediately YouTube a scene that they put out before the show aired about Launchpad. It's a trailer for like 2 minutes, and you will fall in love with him. It has a lot of the voice actors from Community. Jim Rash.
Okay.
Community. You like Community, don't you?
I haven't seen it, but I've heard nothing but praise.
Oh, right. I thought you did.
No, it's one of those shows that every time it comes up, like on TV or in conversation, me and the missus are like, "That's meant to be dead good, isn't it? We should watch that," and then we just don't.
It is dead good. Right. It has Jim Rash, who is in Community. It has the new Ducktales is like if they took the old Carl Barks comics and they mixed it with like classic Ducktales, and they used Donald Duck as well. He's actually in it. And he's classic Donald Duck in the way that you can pick a fight with a stapler and he will lose. And all the nephews have different characters. They're all like similar, but they're all like one is lazy, one tries too hard, and one really likes camping and things like that.
One's lazy, one tries hard, one just loves camping.
Yeah,
Just loves it.
Yeah,
Just
well,
really loves it.
It's because they are junior woodchucks in all comics and cartoons. So one of them really loves the camping adventure aspect of it. So they're all different parts of like, okay, these are the bad parts of Uncle Scrooge, these are the bad parts of Donald Duck. And Mrs. Beakley is like a secret spy / ninja housekeeper, who we don't know yet. Glumgold is a fake Scottish person who just pretends to be Scottish because Uncle Scrooge is Scottish. It's brilliant, man. You'll have to watch that.
Wait, does that come replete with like a really badly put on Scottish accent?
Yeah, because he's like, I'm Scottish!
And Scrooge is presumably oblivious to this.
Yes.
Brilliant, okay. Yeah, no, this does sound excellent. This does sound
So
fantastic.
I really don't know anything else to say about it aside from it's great. It's
TLDR
like,
approved.
just go watch an episode. I think
Alright,
the first
I'll check it out.
you can watch the first episode for free on YouTube somewhere.
I mean, is it airing on Disney currently?
And Disney.
I've got Disney.
Oh well, then you can watch Ducktales.
There you go. I'll check that out. I will. Launchpad was always my third favourite anthropomorphic duck.
Your third favourite
Do you
anthropomorphic
know what? Until I
duck.
said that, until I started saying the sentence, I didn't realise how many anthropomorphic ducks there are. There's fucking hundreds.
I was going to say it's a very overly narrow superlative to come down on third favourite anthropomorphic duck.
He is his third favourite. There you go. There that is.
I thought he was a goose back in the day,
Oh, I can see that.
but he would be called Launchpad McHonk if he was a goose, wouldn't he?
He should have been called Launchpad McConk.
If he was a duck, yeah. But he was. Oh my god, Launchpad is so great. They brought him to Darkwing Duck as well.
Oh shit! Yeah, they did. Yeah.
I watched that like 2 years ago, and that holds up so well because it's got Jim Cummings and it's got like Rob Paulsen, who we also know as Pinky from Pinky and the Brain.
I only seem to remember the theme song now. Actually, I know I liked it.
Mate, it's got hilarious comedy. It's great punchlines. I can't really describe anything because it's a cartoon, but.
Rob Paulsen, of course. Meatloaf from Fight Club.
Who? What?
His name is Robert Paulsen. In death, we all have a name. His name is Robert Paulsen. Fight Club.
Have I ever shown you, like, this horrible online meme where somebody goes like, his name is Robert Paulsen, and then it's like this horrendous Photoshop of all the people in Fight Club with various Rob Paulsen characters in his thing. It's like...
No, you haven't. Well, I'm glad that you haven't, frankly.
It looks like shit.
It sounds like shit.
It is. It's like somebody... But it's a very talented voice actor. I'm quite jealous of how he managed to do so many different voices, but you always know it's Paul Jenkins. Rob Paulsen. What is
another friend of the show always commented to me how his Orson Welles was very overrated, and I agree.
Isn't that Maurice LaMarche you're thinking of?
No, he's... Oh, shit, yeah, sorry. He's Brain, not... Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, I was busy.
He does a good parody, Orson Welles.
Yeah, but people online are always like, oh, he's so good. No.
But he's not like one-on-one with Orson Welles. It does help that I watched a documentary about Orson like a week ago.
Have you seen the champagne commercial that Orson Welles did?
No, I did see the frozen peas commercial you did.
I haven't seen the frozen peas one. Was he as drunk in that as he was in the champagne one? If you can find the outtakes of the champagne one, it is quite staggering. It is genuinely one of the most joyous things I've ever seen. He's clearly smashed out of his gourd on champagne.
That's great. In the documentary, at one point, it stops because he told the cameraman to stop, and then they go on later on because the director was like, he's not directing, I'm directing. Yeah, but Orson Welles is like the director. He told me to stop. It's like he was just so authoritative.
If he gives you the stage direction, you just do it.
It's so authoritative. It's like, if Orson Welles tells me to turn off my camera, by God, I will.
I imagine Kubrick had the same thing. Like, if you saw him at the foot of your bed, just peering at you, you'd just be like, oh, yeah, no, it's Kubrick, isn't it?
He must have, because he just had such baggy, creepy eyes as well. But what I love about Kubrick is, like, he made people work slave shifts, like typing out entire pages of all work and no work, play, make Jack a dull boy, because he didn't want to use photocopiers. He put people through hell. Like, women afterwards complained like he was horrible to them.
It is. I mean, Kubrick's always been... Well, it's sort of
for the art.
Three-way tie for, like, my favourite director, the Kubrick, Scorsese and Spielberg. But I do, like, the Shelley Duvall stuff is...
It's British shit. But when you look at The Shining, he was always so nice to the little kid that played.
That is the strangest thing about Kubrick.
That's the strangest
ever.
thing. Like, no, we can't show you any of the movie scenes we've shot with you because, well, it's a pretty horrendous movie. We don't want to warp your fragile little mind.
A man renowned for literally torturing people, and then his crowning moment in The Shining is he convinced the little boy that they were filming some kind of, like, family comedy or something or other. Like,
yes!
Fucking hell, like, what a weird dude. What a strange man. But amazing. I mean, I love Stanley Kubrick. He is... If I really had to pick gun to head, I would probably say he was my favourite director. The master of atmospherics.
The
master. There's nothing better than that. The scene is the scene in Full Metal Jacket where Joker goes into the toilets where Pyle is sat in there with the gun, and it's like in the dark.
There's a reason why they call that the Kubrick stare, because that it's so iconic.
But not even that. I mean, like, it's the sound, it's the noises. That's what gets me all the time. There's like this bass line playing through it, and you can hear all these little drops and drips in the background, and all these weird little high pitched noises and all that. That to me, that sums him up. That's the shit that he did better than anybody else. The atmospherics, where it gives you like a feel for what it would feel like and sound like to be in that room. No director does that better than Kubrick. No one ever has. And the other thing that Kubrick has got going for him is that, like, he only did 14 films, and at least half of them are classics. That's a fucking amazing strike rate. You know, even Spielberg made AI. Do you know what I mean?
That's the weirdest thing. Who wanted to direct AI?
It was Kubrick and Spielberg together.
That was it.
They were meant to collaborate and do it, and they never got around to it. And then when Kubrick died, Spielberg was like, "All right, well, shit, I've got to finish this."
It's because like Kubrick wanted to make a family film, but he didn't know how to.
Kubrick had said something. I think he wanted to direct, and Spielberg was going to produce. I think, or the other way around, but it seems more
No,
likely.
you're correct. He wanted to direct. He wanted to do the film, but he felt like he was inadequate to do it. Obviously, I'm going on third-hand information here because
me too.
I'm only going by what people in documentaries and YouTube videos have told me.
Yeah, same thing. But yeah,
So it's like Kubrick wanted to direct, but he didn't feel like he could do it like Spielberg would.
Yeah, like grandiose enough.
But
And,
the weirdest thing is, the most silly scenes and parts of the film were done by him. Stanley Kubrick directed Robin Williams as the Albert Einstein avatar.
Okay.
He cast that scene, he directed that scene, and he came up with the last ending. He came up with the idea that, in the end, the little boy, I forgot his name.
Well, in the film or the actor?
Both.
Well, it's Haley Joel Osment, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it is Haley.
It's the Sixth Sense boy.
It's Haley Joel. But he came up with the idea that he would be confronted by these weird, technologically advanced aliens. And that's weird because that feels so out of contrast with the rest of the ending that preceded it. But he wanted to do this happy family thing. It's very weird. I don't want to give too much shit to Spielberg for saying like he directed that. I would much rather point fingers at War of the Worlds than AI, because AI
Do you know what's really weird? I watched War of the Worlds when it came out, and I thought, this is... I mean, I don't hate it. I thought it was bang average, kind of... Anybody could have directed that. Anybody could have been in it. It didn't have to be a Cruise movie or a Spielberg movie. I don't think it came close to doing the story of War of the Worlds justice. Have you not noticed this weird sort of rehabilitation of War of the Worlds lately?
No.
I've seen quite a few sort of lists and quite a few web pages, fucking hell, I'm from 1999, articles and...
Geocities.com.
Even I had an Angelfire website. I listened to a podcast recently where they were saying, like, do you know what? War of the Worlds is actually dead good. And I was like, is it though? Isn't it just like a bang average action movie?
I've not seen it since it came out in the cinemas. So
Neither have I, but even with all the respected people that I have telling me it is good, it's not enough to make me go back and revisit it. I know what I saw, and what I saw was a very average action film. People
I'd much rather put on Kingdom of the Crystal Skull than fucking War of the Worlds.
I mean, they're about equal to me.
No.
People don't seem to try and tackle it from the Spielberg angle. What people are trying to... what I heard somebody saying last week anyway was it's a very un-Tom Cruise role. Like, and this is a good bit of trivia.
Oh, we're back at Tom Cruise. Hooray!
Hooray. Did you know this is the only film where Tom Cruise plays a father?
Wow. That's weird.
It's kind of odd, right? Like, there's another film where they make reference to him having a daughter, but you never see it on screen ever. This is the only film where Tom Cruise interacts with an on-screen child that is his child, which is kind of weird. But yeah, apparently it's quite an anti-Tom Cruise, because, you know, Tom Cruise is normally like all action kind of... He's gung-ho, gun fingers and all that shit. Whereas in War of the Worlds, he's quite cautious and quite a bit morally grey. You know, he's willing to kill people if it means he thinks he's going to be safer. It's a bit, you know, he's not a straight action hero. But I don't know, I didn't think it was very good. I thought it was alright.
Speaking of films where Tom Cruise is not really Tom Cruisey, Vanilla Sky.
I couldn't finish Vanilla Sky.
Did you hate it?
No, I found it far too depressing.
Oh, right. That's a good
it really upset me.
It's another one of those films. It's like, I know it's based on a Spanish language version of the same story, and that Penelope Cruz with the Z is in it as well. That's
Spanish for cross.
Yes. But I really liked Vanilla Sky when I first saw it, and I quite still do to this date. I think I have the DVD.
I couldn't finish it.
It's really fucking... It messes with your mind, but it doesn't go too far. It's like, it doesn't end on a, is it really real or is it not ending? but it is quite good and not really Tom Cruisey.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's not a Tom Cruise style movie at all, really. Because even Rain Man, because the themes of Rain Man,
like you said, it's like parental abandonment.
Yeah, there's that, but I mean, they're not typical Tom Cruise themes, really. But his character, he is the high-flying yuppie. He is the fucking charismatic. You know, he's got the good-looking girl. He's got everything. He's got the money, the good suits, all that shit. He is a typical Tom Cruise character in that. But in Vanilla Sky, it is very much like your character is going to be, what if we stripped all that shit away? Now what have you got? And he gets all in like, but no, I couldn't finish it. Yeah, I found it a bit upsetting. I'd probably be okay with it now. I'm going back some years here, but yeah, Vanilla Sky is really depressing. Fucking hell.
But that's what I say. Sometimes I just really like gloomy, depressive films.
It was good. It was good. Like what I watched of it was good, but that was the only film where I had to tap out midway through. Oh no, there's a film called Jude that stars Christopher Eccleston. I think I mentioned this on the podcast before. That is the bleakest film ever. I had to stop watching that because I got a phone call saying somebody had died, and it was already quite sad. So I just turned that off.
That just helps, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it turned out they hadn't died. It was a hoax. But that's another story.
Right, so on the day of recording at the moment, it's actually Ian McShane's birthday.
Oh, well, you know.
This is probably going to come out like a week or two after.
I feel like I should say some kind of racial slur against Chinese people in honour.
I would never say that. Why would you accuse me of doing that?
No, I wasn't saying. It's because of Deadwood.
Deadwood. Oh, he was in Deadwood. I haven't seen Deadwood yet. It's the next on my list to watch because I finally finished Sopranos.
I've got a mate who swears Deadwood is the best TV show ever made. I've got another mate who loves Deadwood, but all he ever recommends is that Ian McShane says a load of racial epithets about Chinese people. That's what I was referencing, that was all. If you would like, rather than doing the racial stuff, I could try and value some antiques, because that's the other thing that Ian McShane's known for. Is
every time I'm at one of my brother's houses, I always go to their DVD collection, and I just gloss over what they have and what is relevant to my interests. And one of my brothers and his wife, they really like their TV series. So they have Fraser, which is like commendable. Fraser's pretty good.
Fraser's great.
Yeah, Fraser's pretty good, yeah. Then there's like Deadwood. I'm like, Deadwood. I've never actually watched that. And then I was thinking about them because it's going to be one of their kids' birthdays soon. I'm like, I'm going there. I'm like, oh, right. I'm just about finished the fucking Sopranos. I can now watch Deadwood. I'm quite looking forward to that because I watched 2 crime dramas in a row, and now I can watch something cowboy sitting.
If the cowboy setting thing does whet your appetite, and you do feel like you want to have another one after that, there was a show on a couple of years ago called Hell on Wheels, which is based all around kind of, the tensions around trying to build coast-to-coast railroads in the US in the 1800s.
Yes.
It's based around that, and Cole Meany is sort of, he's not the villain of the piece, but he's kind of the hard-ass guy who's like the owner of the rail line. Cole Meany, if you don't know, is O'Brien from The Next Generation. Russell Brand's dad in Get Him to the Greek. That was dead good, and that was it's not a cowboy movie, but I think that's why I found it so appealing, because it's set kind of in, it's set in cowboy times, but it's very much kind of everything's getting industrialized, and it's not like we're not having shootouts over a gold mine here. It's like politics, and like backstabbing, like how we're going to get this shady deal done to get this rail line built through this town. Only it's set in the Old West. And it's kind of a unique setting for that kind of thing, It's kind of modern politics, but set back in them days. And you don't get that a lot, I don't think.
I don't think you do.
Clearly I've not sold it to you, but it is good, I promise.
I quite like the actor that plays O'Brien because he played a mob boss, or at least for an Irish crime family, in something that Tom Cruise was in as well. So bringing it all back together again.
He is very. To call me, and he is very good. He's very underrated.
What's that film with Tom Cruise Coming to America?
No, that's Eddie Murphy.
Did you know that Eddie Murphy's parents in Coming to America were played by what's his face? Mufasa, James Earl Jones, and the lady whose name I can't remember because she's not as famous as James Earl Jones.
I knew it was James Earl Jones. And Simba. Oh, so they're remaking The Lion King.
No, because
No, but I'm saying they're remaking The Lion King.
yeah, well, they're remaking every Disney film, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Do you know The Lion King?
I do know The Lion King. Yes.
When was the last time you saw it? 90s.
Mid-2000s when I bought a friend a DVD.
Okay, what do you think?
It's still okay.
Does it hold up? Do you think it's a cinematic masterpiece, or do you think it is just a good addition to the Disney canon?
I do think it has some really fucking good shots, but in the end, it's a Disney film.
Right. I have this because I hadn't seen it really since I was a kid, and a couple of years ago, like me and my girlfriend's sister, we all, we like Disney, big Disney fans, and we're like, oh shit, Lion King's on TV. Let's all get, Sunday afternoon, let's get in, get the food in, fucking Lion King, let's love it, yeah. Put it on, and about 50, 60 minutes in, I was like, this isn't as good as I thought it was. It's the Lion King is. I had this conversation on Twitter a couple of weeks ago. It's weird in that it's all the set pieces and all the songs and all the big, Mufasa dying and all that stuff. Proper brilliant, but everything in between very flimsy. Like, it doesn't really hold up. Like,
it has some great moments.
But it lives and dies by those moments. So, like, it's quite flimsy. Like, it's the same sort of. I would put it. Get this for a criticism. Damned by faint praise. I would put it on a par with Mulan. Mulan's dead good, yeah. Like, it's fine. It's not amazing, but it's fine. But take away the songs, it's fucking nothing. It's paper thin. There's nothing there without the songs. Mulan is literally great song, scene, great song, scene. If you take the songs away, there's nothing. The Lion King, if you take away the fight between Simba and Scar and the stampede scene and take away the songs, there's nothing there. There's nothing to it. It's flimsy as hell.
It's probably the last third where it really goes to shit because, it's that bit. It's just not as good because Hakuna Matata is basically the end.
Yeah, more or less.
Everything with Kid Simba is pretty much like, this is good. And then he grows into an adult, and Can't You Feel the Love Tonight is an okay song, but mostly saved by the fact that...
Do you think it's overrated?
Mostly saved by the fact that Timon and Pumbaa at the end crying over it.
Yeah, they're good.
And then
Nathan Lane's always good, though. Then
you have nothing until... Are you aching for some bacon? Dance with the hula.
Be Prepared gets overlooked.
Be Prepared is a fantastic fucking great villain song.
I think it's the... No, oh shit, wait. I almost blasphemed. It's the second best Disney villain song. Jesus.
It is indeed the second best Disney villain song.
Oh my god, I had to check myself there. Fuck.
I think, there we go. The Lion King is great until Simba turns into an adult.
Yeah. So Matthew Broderick ruins it.
Fuck you, Matthew Broderick. How dare you fucking ruin it? So I must say, the final scene where the hyenas eat Scar, that's pretty fucking gruesome.
Wait, don't they just run off?
No, they eat him.
Do they? Do we see that? I thought he got like a weird inverted Disney villain death where rather than fall off a cliff, he just runs into the distance and they chase him, and it's implied that like, oh, they catch him and they kill him.
No, because if he lands, he's hurt, and then he's like, oh, there you are, and then they're like, oh, we thought we were the ones responsible for all of this. He's like, no, but it's like, and then Ed, the stupid one, starts licking his lips, and then Scar backs off against the cliff wall, and we see these shadows cast, and he throws up his paws as if he's like a Shakespearean actor. And we see the hyena shadow staring into him.
I don't know. Who's the other hyena, by the way? So there's Ed, the dumb one, and then there's Whoopi.
It's Whoopi Goldberg.
Is it Bobcat? It's not, is it?
No. It's not Chong. It's Cheech.
Oh, yeah. Cheech Marin.
Yeah. And Jim Cummings as Ed.
Oh, dude. Fucking speaking of Cheech Marin, this is a complete change of pace. Just sat in like last week with the missus, watching TV, flicking through, right? Dusk Till Dawn was on, and I was like, fuck it. Dusk Till Dawn, yeah?
We got smelly pussy, stinky pussy, black pussy.
Yeah, right? I was like, it's Friday night, so I'm not drinking in the house. Fucking Dusk Till Dawn, ideal. Put it on. And I was like, oh, you know what this is? And she was like, no, because it was like right at the start, you know, where they're robbing the store, Clooney and Tarantino robbing the store. And I was like, you know what this is, don't you? And she was like, no. I was like, wait, have you never seen From Dusk Till Dawn? She was like, no, I've heard of it, but I don't know. I was like, do you know what it's about? No, not really. I was like, all right.
Oh.
And for like the first half hour, I was just sat staring at her, not even looking at the TV. Like,
that must have been fantastic.
Because she was watching it as if it was like a straight gangster film. And I was like, in a minute, something's going to happen. And she was like... But then, it actually made me realise there was a flaw in the movie.
What was the flaw?
It got to the, Salma Hayek comes out, sexy dance and all this stuff. That was all great, right? Up to that point, it still looks like a straight gangster film, yeah? And then it's the bit where the thing that makes the shit hit the fan in the film is when Richie, Quentin's character, his hand's all bloody, Salma Hayek can smell the blood. And she vamps out because she can't help herself. I mean, how could you? It's Quentin Tarantino's blood, you know what I mean? You wouldn't be able to, would you? And she vamps out and bites down on him. But, because they don't look like normal vampires, do you? They're all sort of...
They're all fucking weird.
Yeah, reptilian looking, right? And Claude turned to me and was like, are they fucking aliens or something? And I was like, no. And I was like, that's ridiculous. But I was like, but hang on, though. No one said the word vampire yet. You've not been informed by the film that they are that. Why would you assume she was a vampire? She doesn't look like a vampire. And, like... Up until the point where they've killed them all, it's about 50 minutes in where Clooney goes, fucking vampires. And I don't believe in vampires, but they're fucking vampires. Like, it works on the assumption that you know already what you're... Like, the film kind of assumes, like, everyone knows it's a vampire film.
So because the film doesn't say the vampires before the people involved say the vampires, this is an issue?
It's very, very minor, but it is like at first it's like, well, shit, why would like once they start like staking them and stuff, then you could get it. But then I was thinking like, well, why would they think to stake them though? You wouldn't if you were in a bar and someone turned into a weird fucking thing and bit you, you wouldn't be like, oh, well, I'll just try and ram a chair leg through their stomach.
I don't quite remember that film enough to.
It's a very, very minor thing, and clearly, if you're watching From Dusk Till Dawn and trying to pick fault with that kind of minutiae, you're watching the wrong fucking movie, buddy.
Exactly. It's like, it was Grindhouse before they brought Grindhouse
back. Yeah, exactly. It is Rodriguez at his absolute best. But it did occur to me, I was like, actually though, I think the film assumes too much prior knowledge from the audience. I mean, but don't get me wrong, by about 40 minutes in, if you don't realise the vampires, you're an idiot. But no, it was great. It was great to sit and watch somebody who had no idea what the film was about for a good half an hour, going, "Oh, this is a good gangster film," and then suddenly it's gone completely off piste. I was like, "Wow, this is."
I fucking love it's got Tom Savini in it, and at that point I didn't know who Tom Savini was, and it was only afterwards that I got to learn about him and his oeuvre. And he's
Who is he, sorry?
Beg your pardon, what?
Who is he, sorry?
He plays Sex Pistol or
Sex Machine?
Sex Machine.
Alright, because I literally only know him from... Because I know of the other... Frost, the big black guy.
Yeah?
He is Spear Chucker Jones in MASH.
Okay.
And he was also... Have you heard of the the blaxploitation movie Boss Nick?